Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of LostinTranslationmon. This time we're covering Digimon Ghost Game Episode 6, The Cursed Song. I'm May, and I'm joined by the lovely Quinn.
Howdy.
And of course the equally lovely Chloe.
Hello.
We've got no housekeeping or updates this time except for I'm going to the dentist in 2 days to get some fillings and I'm not happy about it, so think of me on Tuesday.
Have fun.
The worst part's going to be the numbness and the money I have to give them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking forward to either of those, but it won't affect the podcast at all because this obviously is recorded on a Sunday, and any videos that I'm recording I've already handled that are going out for that day.
So you're not going to come on the podcast talking like the Don?
No,
Shame.
no, I probably won't want to talk because I don't like the mouth numbness. I don't like numb. I don't like the
Yeah.
numb feeling.
Yeah.
It's not fun. But in any case, before we get into discussing episode 6, a brief synopsis just as a bit of a refresher. So the group find out about a hologram ghost that's appearing at a karaoke bar. Ruby takes the group and they find that it's caused by Sirenmon. They attempt to lure Sirenmon out and also kind of lock it into this one isolated area, sort of like doing a little DMZ networking there, and basically Sirenmon gets mad at this and breaks out and starts projecting herself onto billboard television screens. The group then go to the digital space to fight her, and Hiro sings to her and they connect and understand each other over the fact that music makes the singer reach out to the hearts of the listener. And Sirenmon, in the same way that Pumpkinmon and Mummymon, kind of just goes, okay, Hiro, I'm good now. So for discussion this week, what were our highlights?
Gamamon singing was pretty cute.
Mine was not Hiro. I mean, I love Hiro, but Hiroshiro existing.
Yeah.
Like mentioning he didn't have to like release the seal under his bandages. That was
pretty
great.
Mine was that earlier this week I realized that Kiroshiro is voiced by Kaoru, and I'm only going to call him Kaoru from now on.
Mm-hmm.
From what?
Kaoru from Ava.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, true story.
Oh, I need to look at the voice actors more. Apparently, like, Gamamon is just Kurapika from Hunter x Hunter. And just like, this is great. This is
I
my
love
new.
Kaoru
Okay, you're right.
so much.
Yep.
I can't tell which one would be more extra because Quaru is he's quite extra.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And with Lilymon, Kaoru X Lilymon, it's going to be very good.
Why is it always Ava?
Jellymon, I know what I'm trying to say.
It's always Ava.
Yeah.
It all comes back to Ava.
It always comes back to Ava. Yeah.
And it all returns to nothing.
It all comes tumbling
We
down.
all keep tumbling down.
Tumbling down.
Look, that's the song they should have sung in karaoke. Instead,
Oh my
it was.
god, it would have been so much better.
Oh my god, fan dub of just them
Yeah,
singing Ava
I need an
songs.
edit. I need an edit of this episode where instead of, by the way, it is the ending from the first ending from Adventure Colon, which is kind of like a surprise because typically when a song has like a karaoke or an episode that functions about singing, it's the ending song from that season. It's I Wish in the original adventure, but for some reason this episode, I guess because they wanted a feminine voice, they just took the first ending from Adventure Colon. So that was fun.
It was a weird decision. They were sure right to call it the cursed song because this was just the cursed episode.
Yeah.
And it's cursed because it reminds me that Adventure Colon exists by not only including a song from it, but also having Hiro being the main character and no one really much else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if Adventure Colon had like any number of episodes that meaningfully happened in the real world, this could have just been an episode of that.
But at least it'd probably still be a good episode.
Oh, it would have been
In
a top
terms
10
of
episode
Adventure
of Colon because Colon was mostly not very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this would still be probably a 5 out of 5 or at least a 4 out of 5 in terms of a Colon episode. For me, at least.
Yeah, I would agree. Grading on that curve.
Like,
Exactly.
yeah, so if we sound negative about this episode, it's because it's not as good as the other Ghost Game episodes.
Yeah,
Amazing.
it's because the first 5 episodes have been great, and this one just missed the mark, which is a shame, but, it happens sometimes.
And, I mean, look, this is probably going to curse the series, so I'm really apologising in advance for that. But if this is the worst episode that we can get in this season, I'm okay with that.
Please
What have
never
we
say
done?
this
What
again.
have we done?
Yeah, I know. Every time I say that, it's like the next episode is just terrible and just goes
Just
down from there.
unironically, please stop saying it.
I just didn't talk anymore.
It's
I'm just here to
bothering
press
my
the...
head.
I just edit and push the buttons.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean...
Yeah. There were just a lot of... I'm actually kind of struggling to think of any highlights for this episode, for me, to be honest. It was just...
I mean, the animation was
The
still
animation was fun. The quality hasn't dropped, at least, which is nice.
good. Sirenmon is great. Has been a Digimon that's been around for like almost a decade, since like 2013-ish, but
fair.
never has been animated.
But
So,
that definitely
it's
doesn't
nice
make it onto my list of highlights, because I don't care about Sirenmon.
I will say, going to Sirenmon's design for a second, I thought the rest notes for tattoos on the face was pretty cool.
That was kind of neat
Yeah.
once you pointed it out. I'm kind of ashamed I didn't notice it sooner. That was nice. Okay, I'll count that as my highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Sirenmon.
I'm not gonna remember the name, but Purple Cubimon was
Oh, Yokomon.
fine. I dug the design. I sort of
Yeah.
was into the what
Looked
I thought
cool.
the plot was going to be for a minute.
But then nothing happened.
Yeah, I guess we're maybe foreshadowing something later,
I
but
hope we're foreshadowing
I
something
think
later.
we are.
Chekhov
I think it's-
sure put a purple fox on the mantle.
Turns out Chekhov is a bit of a furry. But
Oh, no.
in any case, I think that would be foreshadowing something, and it's also, maybe it's showing us that any sort of myths that people have, like, oh yeah, give offerings to this shrine for this god, it's actually just Digimon. Like, I feel like that's
possible.
kind of a nice, like, that
Well,
nice
we
touch
keep having
on
the
that.
characters insist that we're hoping to find real ghosts, but does anyone have any belief that there will be a real ghost?
No.
No,
It's just
not even
Digimon.
remotely. I hope they do, but I know they will.
Yeah, stop being cowards and just have a real ghost show up.
But it's
Look,
okay. We
I
found
can't-
the real ghost showed.
The real ghost was the friends you made along the way.
Yep, exactly.
Wow, that sounds sad. But no, I honestly thought that the Halloween episode would end in sort of like a this trope probably has a name for it, but it's when, you know, it's like, oh, but how did you make the door lock like that? And then the bad guy says, oh, what do you mean the door lock like that? And it turns out that there's an actual ghost that did something else. I don't know. There's am I
What?
going
Oh
crazy?
yeah,
or
the you know, that's the whole thing was just a trick, and then they were like, hey, but what about this thing? How'd you do that? And then they're like, oh, I didn't. And then everyone goes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Gotcha,
cool.
gotcha.
I'm not crazy. But I had no idea what it's called, but I thought that we might get that for the Halloween episode, but we didn't. And
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a good thing to pull at some point, but I felt like it's more of a Halloween special thing. Like, I don't know why the only example I can think of in my head is Sweet Life of Zack and Cody had like a...
I mean, so
Had
I
like
think
a
the
haunted
I think what we're
episode.
going for is so who's flying the plane?
Yeah, kind
Well,
of.
so-
but
and
who's
see-
ghosting?
The first example that came to my mind was the Community episode in, I think, season 4 or something.
I can't even remember that. I mean, I watched all of Community, but I think I watched it in such like
It was
quick
the Gaslight
succession. I
year,
don't remember.
so...
Oh,
Was it?
I thought it was Gas Leakier, not the
Yeah,
Gas
it's
Leak.
I know what I
Leak.
mean. I keep mixing up words the last few weeks.
That's fair.
That's fair, but yeah, I kind of keep on waiting for them to pull that sort of thing to make it seem like there's an actual real ghost, but they don't. But I wouldn't be
Well, they're
surprised if they
actual
do
real
pull it.
Digimon, I guess.
There's an actual ghost and it's Oikawa.
Ah, real Digimon. I hope somebody got my terrible reference.
I mean, I snorted.
from like,
it was pretty bad.
that's what I want this. I want the English dub title of this series. You know how we had Digimon Data Squad from Digimon Savers and Digimon Fusion from Digimon Cross Wars? This one's just our real Digimon. I would die. I wish I had any like artistic ability, because I just redo the Digimon Ghost Game logo but say our real Digimon and sort of like make it cross between our real monsters. But anyway, that's a big tangent of
Instead
things that
Error
didn't happen in
Ghost,
this
it could
episode.
say, I don't know, real Digimon? I should have workshopped this before saying anything.
Sometimes the best part of the joke is the lack of a joke. Yeah.
I apologize, viewers, listeners.
So trying to come back for more highlights from this episode. I really like.
Jellymon.
I mean, it's both a highlight and a low light, but I really kind of like how much collateral damage we did to this karaoke place that just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They blew up a wall and knocked off 2 doors.
Then we destroyed an elevator. We didn't even have a
Yeah.
reason for that one.
Yeah, you're right. We definitely saw more damage in this episode than we've seen before.
Yeah, like,
Well, okay, but hold on. They might not have destroyed the elevator itself, maybe just the door, because they did get up to the room eventually.
yeah, we blew off the door to the elevator, which still feels like it's going to be very expensive to me.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
expensive for sure, but, it's not like they disable the elevator completely.
No, it's just at no point did we have to explain that to anyone, including
Yeah.
when someone almost got destroyed by rubble.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that lady almost
That
died.
poor worker who, asked the kids to, keep it on the hush-hush.
Can you not tell anyone? Oh, that's a little sketch, but I
Yeah.
guess I get it.
I kind of like the touch that Angoramon says, hey, maybe they're saying to cover it up so they know that people who are told to cover things up will talk about it more as a rumor, and the rumors will
Drum up
make
publicity,
people want to go to the karaoke
I
bar
guess
more.
that
I
makes
kind
a
of
certain
like
amount
that.
of sense, other than the part where now their karaoke bar has been destroyed by a ghost and/or some children.
Mm-hmm. And
Why
which
not
are they going to
both?
believe? That it was a ghost or it was the kids? Like, how are they going to be able to leave this establishment? Are they going to let them walk out the door? I find that hard to
Kau
believe.
might have to unleash the seal.
Please.
Oh God, I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah.
I
I
want.
really am excited for the wraps to come off.
Please let it be incredibly, incredibly dumb.
Oh, it will be. You know it.
Oh, I remembered another highlight. It's definitely when Ruri's like snuggling into Angoramon saying, I could have died, and Jellymon's just laughing. Like,
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good. A little much,
Jelly-
if I'm being real.
I love her so much.
She's very, very
I just-
good.
But all my highlights I feel like are just Kiyoshiro related. I felt like he was, even though he didn't really do much in this episode, everything he did do was just great. His existence is great. He's scared the entire time.
So, like, it was kind of a Ruri episode, except that then Taichi showed up to steal all the glory?
See, I mean, I guess this is going a little bit into
a
lowlights,
hero episode,
but yeah.
No, hero
It's
showed up,
Taichi.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
But
Well, no, I wasn't.
I-
I like, was it a Ruli episode? It didn't really strike me that way at any given point.
well, she's the music themed one. She wanted to sing. She wanted to take charge. She was kind of pulling around the other characters.
yeah, okay, I
it
guess
felt
so.
like
I
a
forgot
Rudy
about
episode.
that.
like, she
beginning.
didn't grow or accomplish anything in this episode, but to the extent that anyone was the major character, I guess it was her.
No, it felt like this could have been a Ruri episode, and I mean, originally I kind of predicted this episode would be a Simbare Angoramon debut episode, and that's his evolution. And I kind of was assuming that Simbare is like a combination of symphony and ballet, and it would be kind of like a music-themed episode. And I thought that all of Sirenmon's attacks and techniques are like symphony-based, so I thought that
like,
could have a
would've
nice...
made perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's a shame
Yeah.
they didn't do that.
Yeah, would have been a good
And
prediction.
also, the Jellymon and Angoramon Dims are coming out in mid-December, and I just felt like that it would be a good time to start having their evolutions before that releases. So
Yeah.
it felt kind of weird, and yeah, this is moving into a low light, but it felt kind of weird that this wasn't a Ruri episode. It felt like it very much should have and could have been.
Yeah, so,
Like,
let's officially move into lowlights, I guess.
Yes.
Yep.
Because they seemed very determined to have there be a plot twist, exactly one in this entire episode, because wow, was this a predictable episode.
Yeah.
But they were
Yep.
dead set on not finishing out the plot in the way you expect them to, of having Ruri sing really well and then somehow connect to the Digimon. But then we didn't do that, which is maybe fine, except what we did instead was more bad singing that caused them, the bad guy, to say, oh, never mind, I'm gonna go do singing that connects to people's hearts, but I guess in
practice.
ways that don't make people ears
that-
bleed
it should've-
or whatever. Like,
It should have been Kiyoshiro singing though.
if it,
That would have been excellent.
that would have been acceptable.
he's
Jellymon
singing, like-
just badly singing intentionally would have been really good.
Yeah. Or Hero starts, or at least, Hero starts and like the rest start to sing along and be terrible at it.
Something,
Not just
yeah.
Hero by himself.
But yeah,
yeah.
just Hero being like, and then the moral of the story is just, it's you only get to be bad at singing if you're the protagonist.
Yeah.
They were both equally bad at singing, but because, one was the monster of the week, they have to be shamed for it. But, Hero's just like, yeah, it's cool.
And, one of them did decide to start wrapping people up in musical notes that turned into tentacle monsters for some reason. Like,
That's pretty
the
fun.
episode just doesn't... It's just not cromulent as a story.
Yeah, I've got a lot of lowlights for this episode.
Yeah, we'll go off, I guess.
Yeah, so, like, I wish that Dark Cubimon had any plot significance at all, ever. Let's see, I wish that there was any sort of consequences for all the collateral damage that they caused. I wasn't a huge fan of the design of Sirenmon, but that's,
That's neither here nor there.
Sirenmon's been
It's
around
fine.
for a long time, and that's didn't really, I guess, color my opinion of the episode too much. But I don't know. I had a lot more, and now I'm totally blanking because I put myself on the spot. Is the thing. It was just like it was a lot. I'm sorry. I'll remember more if we keep going here.
I mean, my main lowlights were just the fact that it was randomly a Hero episode. Like, everything that happened because Hero said so, or Hero did something. Like, the networking rerouting, even though that was Kiyoshiro that did that, that was Hero's idea.
It was his idea, and
yeah.
we had to look into the camera again and explain that yes, we are in fact hacking, which is getting a little old, as just especially when the hacking accomplished nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But we sure did look into the camera and explain how Kiyoshiro was really, really smart.
Yeah, that was another low light, is that they're like, oh yeah, we've got, there's no way for this, hologram ghost to get out. We've locked it into the local network, and then,
Turns
it
out you can just bust down
through
the wall.
friggin' wall.
Right.
That was funny.
It was funny, but it was just like, oh, come
So
on.
why did we spend a minute
Yeah.
on this? Like, also, why did we not go to that space where collateral damage doesn't matter?
Well, they did, but later on.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
but,
like,
like-
as soon as they, started, like, why not go to the, well, I guess maybe they had to kick the door down because the other person... It's very unclear who all gets taken to the
Portal
other
space,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, though at least that was Ruri's idea. Like, she did that. She
That's
initiated
true.
that realm shift. And I'm not sure if it's on purpose or it's just because the area that they're in, but the realm shift that we have from Ruri is different from the one that we have previously seen from Hero. Hero's is kind of more like decayed and haunted, and Ruri's is like kind of more flowery. And I'm not sure just because that's the area they're in, or if it's like meant to be because they've got different Digimon on their VB.
I actually didn't notice the difference.
Okay, it seemed more colourful, but also they were outside.
I don't know if this is a highlight or a low light, but I'm noticing that Jellymon has some thick with 3 C's thighs in this episode.
That's been
Which
since
I guess
the
is just
first
always
time she's
true,
been
but
there, yeah.
it's the first time it really, really hit me.
I did not notice.
Oh, so actually I have bad news. Hero says, I'll use the field, and then Angoromon says, wait, and then says, Ruli, you got this, and then Ruli does it.
So once again, Hero just came up with the idea.
Yep.
Well, at least Angoromon was like, wait, Hero, shut up, let Ruri do something.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm not clear why.
Although I suppose Ruli's,
Yeah, Otto-
hers does look a bit more tropical, now that you mention it.
Oh, I forgot that it was like different per person.
I think that's what they're showing, at least.
Yeah.
Because
It's possible.
I guess this might be a little bit of trivia. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's on purpose, but on the individual DIMs which have the Digimon, there's a different background depending on what Digimon that you have.
Oh.
So like whatever DIM that you've got active. But I don't know what Jellymon or Angoromons are yet because those DIMs aren't out. But Gamamon's looks like funnily like the Windows XP background with the grass and the sky.
No.
And I really like that. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not. But yeah, any other lowlights?
I wish that someone besides Gamamon would evolve.
Yeah.
Yep.
I actually was gonna list... I know that you'd said that Gamamon's singing, bad singing was cute, but I'm kind of tired of it at this point, if I'm being honest.
By the end of the
And
episode, I was definitely ready to
it's-
be done.
Maybe it's just because I'm a stick in the mud, and I absolutely am. You can't change me. You can't change my mind on this. But I was just like, I'm ready for Gamamon to stop acting like a 4-year-old all the time. You know.
That's fair. Even Gilmon started to grow up after not that long.
Yeah, and it might happen eventually. I'm just, I'm a little tired of the I yell everything I say and sing badly shtick.
At the very least, I'd be grateful if somebody else got to have it be their episode in an episode that largely features them. I don't know. We really... We even included the colon song as Hiro just turned into Taichi for a while.
Yeah, it was good timing for it.
Yeah, I suppose if you have to Taichi, this was the time, maybe. But yeah, I was just pretty disappointed with this one overall. I felt like even the animation hadn't dropped significantly, but I do feel like it didn't look quite as pretty all the time as some of the other episodes did.
Yeah, it was maybe a half step down. It wasn't a lot worse, but it was,
It was enough for me to have made a mental note of it, but I'm not sure if that's just, once again, me being a stick in the mud today. I think that was the majority of stuff for my Lola, though.
I wish this series could pass the Bechdel test.
I think we mentioned earlier on that it seems like
technically
it's
I
hard
think
to.
this episode did because it had Ruri talking to a woman about renting a karaoke room, but like oh wait, she wasn't named. Never mind.
Yeah, we've only really had it passing it with Ruri when she was with her other friends, but her other friends don't really appear to be characters anymore.
Yeah, and
they
I
might come back. That's
Yeah.
sort of happened before, right?
it's a possibility.
I feel like that kind of happened in Atmon at least.
So yeah,
But
we'll see.
even I don't think Atmon even passed the Bechdel test that often.
No, it really doesn't.
No, but I mean, I don't know if animated TV shows in general are the right format to pass the Bechdel test.
I
Or at the
mean-
very least, you need some what's the word I'm looking for? Some industry revolution. Some I don't know what I'm trying to say.
We need a major overhaul to the entire entertainment
Look,
industry.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of Digimon I don't think that would pass it. I mean,
Oh,
Tamers
God,
definitely
no.
does. I think Savers does because Yoshino and Lalamon have a friendship at least, but most of Digimon doesn't really pass.
02 probably can.
Yeah.
It got pretty gay there.
Oh, at least Original Adventure probably does as well because Palmon and Mimi talk and Sora and Beomon talk.
That's true. And that's all I'm saying. I just wish there were more, I wish more of Digimon allowed two girls to talk to each other.
Yeah, but Tamers does really well because of it has Juri keep on saying Ruri, Juri and Ruki talking. There we are, got it out eventually. And Renamon and
I
we
love
also
Grandma.
have Ruri's. I keep on saying Ruri.
Ruki's
Ruki's entire family.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It is
that's-
possible, but I mean, it's not a show can be good without passing. It's just kind of like an indication on the characterization of its female characters.
It's noteworthy that in 2021 we wrote a main cast with, effectively 6 characters, 4 of them at least male sort of oriented in their presentation. Jellymon is a bit abnormal. I was a little surprised by that one, especially because we didn't then pair up with the only other girl, but that means, there's kind
It's
of
hard
just
to
nothing
pass.
unless we introduce some new characters.
Any other lowlights?
I know we mentioned it before, but this episode was just super predictable.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a shame. It felt
I
like it
think
was
it,
hands down the least scary episode we've had so far.
Oh, the intro part was quite creepy with the singing and the scary voices. That was quite creepy, but it was less creepy
was-
than the other episodes.
It
Yeah.
wasn't that creepy, it was very, very cliche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other ones
But-
had kind of gotten me on the edge of my seat, so to speak, a little bit. But this one I was just like, yeah, okay, they're going to get locked in the thing and they're going to be scared, but, whatever. It didn't feel like there were really much in the way of stakes in the intro like there were in some of the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think last episode was necessarily quote-unquote creepy, and this episode does have that creepy sort of
Last episode
atmosphere.
didn't try to be, and I feel like this episode wanted to be and just kind of failed at it.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing with this episode being predictable is that it's more so predictable now because we've already done this kind of story with Mummymon and Pumpkinmon.
Exactly.
So,
there's only so many times I want you to just retell me an old Japanese fairy tale or whatever, and that's fine. I'm not saying don't pull from that, but we've done a lot of weeks in a row without any real plot movement, and then also you didn't do your folktale very well this time.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I am getting a little worried that they might not have more ending archetypes than just, it was a big misunderstanding or bad guy gets away.
Yeah. I kind of think this is probably our first filler episode, right?
It certainly felt like it.
Yeah.
Though there at the end there is kind of like a discussion between Angoramon and Hiro about how Gammamon just reverts after he evolves. Like, he can evolve back and forth.
Yeah.
And Angoramon seems surprised about that. And that's sort of like almost world building. And the start of the episode has
But we also
Yokomon, so there
established
could be
that
something there.
last week.
Yeah, we've
and,
talked about that before.
And
Yeah.
like, other than... Oh, yeah, that's because you have a partner. I mean, that's just pretty standard Digimon.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. But it's just something I noticed that between those discussions and Yokomon being there as well, it doesn't feel like it's much of an episode. It feels more like
We
just a filler
bookended a
episode.
little bit of canon to make it technically not filler, but yeah, basically.
Yeah. Anything else we want to say about lowlights?
Nothing off the top of the head, at least.
I just hope we're done with these sort of like character world building explanation startup episodes. Like, every season of Digimon has that sort of formula of we meet our characters, we meet each character in an episode, and then we have like, we see them working as a group, which I guess is this episode, and then I guess we have a few evolution episodes, and I guess hopefully we get kind of into some plot. Like, we haven't really introduced a bad guy yet, like even a book one or game one or arc one bad
Just
guy yet.
hypothetically got Pan's Labyrinth Hands Mon,
Oh yeah,
Dracmon?
yeah, Dracmon, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, clearly a lackey for just kind of somebody.
Presumably, yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of, like a recurring villain potentially that we might have. But yeah, we don't have like a big bad yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of sick of the Mons of the Week being perfect level, and then they fight against their weaker than perfect level Digimon, and then it
more
ends
or
up
less
just
to a
being
standstill.
convinced. Yeah.
Or to, Hero resolves the conflict instead. And, if that's why they're doing it, I wish they would say it. Like, if they would just say, we have no chance of winning, we need to think of something else, and then have the peaceful resolution, I'd feel a little better about it, I think.
Yeah, or what they should do is one beyond that is they say, okay, why don't we just do what we always do and try to like see eye to eye with the Mon of the Week, and that ends up not working and makes it even worse, and the Mon of the Week goes absolutely crazy and just kills someone or something.
I do feel like we're probably headed in that direction.
Yeah.
Which is, fine, but I feel like if you were going to do that, this week would have been the week to probably make that turn. We've done quite a few, just talked out our problems.
I worry if that's going to become the pattern, though, because like if we have a pattern of always trying to give the bad guy an out, I feel like it's going to make the monsters of the week all feel very samey.
So that's part of the problem, is we're going to get to episode 15 and then we're going to change the pattern because we're going to have a big bad and we're going to go on a quest, and then none of this will matter anymore.
Well, let's hurry up and do it then.
Yep.
So, favourite characters. Who were our favourite characters this episode?
The Karaoke
Mine
Network.
was Kiyoshiro. What?
The Karaoke Network.
Oh no, Quinn's choosing
The
abstract
online
concepts.
karaoke network.
Yes, the online karaoke network.
Oh no, yeah, mine was Kiyoshiro because like I'm boring. Chloe, who was yours?
I'll pick an actual character. I'm gonna pick
Yay.
girl practicing for her idol tryouts.
Yeah.
Okay,
With a
that's
Digimon
cute.
song for some reason.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, what a weeb, but also what a goal.
and that's why she's my favorite character.
That's fair, that's fair.
That is fair. Well, at least you chose a character, but wow, I guess that's a sign of a bad episode for the podcast.
Yeah. I even mentioned
We have
to
people
Quinn,
choosing,
like,
yeah.
You could tell it was a bad episode because we didn't stop or go back to take screenshots, like, at all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I think I took less screenshots this episode.
I literally only took the one that I sent to you while we were recording this episode.
Of Jellymon's thick thighs.
Oh, wait, no. Oh,
Yeah, that's last week.
That's last week, never mind.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so
We
what
will
about
choose this
rating out of 5?
I'll set the bar at a 2. I'm going for 2 out of 5 this week.
Okay, I gave it a 3 out of 5 just because, like, I still liked it. I felt like just because it's the worst episode that we've seen so far of Ghost Game, like, there were bits I still liked. It was at least pretty to watch. I do like Sirenmon. I actually even liked the colon callback. I feel like that was kind of cute that we chose that as a song rather than just using the ending song but with a different singer. Like, I liked the little callback there, and yeah, Kiyoshiro definitely saved the episode. So yeah, I gave it a 3. Quinn, what are you giving it?
I am also, I think, gonna say a 2. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It was definitely definitely a real drop from last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, these scales are all relative. A 2 in Ghost Game is still probably better than a lot of the 4s and 5s from Adventure Colon.
That's at least a 3.5 in Adventure Colon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. It's definitely a good Colon episode, but it's just a not so good Ghost Game episode.
Yeah.
So I guess we would all agree on the ranking and just have this in last place then.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that as soon as I watched the episode, I'm like, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty confident we can all put this in last place. So last place across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do we have any miscellaneous thoughts about the episode?
It was just weird. It felt like I barely even experienced it. It's just we started it and then it was over.
Yeah, I just...
Yeah.
I really do... I realize it's a joke that I picked the abstract concepts, but I sure did not have a favorite character this week.
Yeah, it was...
Yeah, if we didn't have that bit at the end where Kiyoshi was like, oh, I didn't have to remove the bandages to release the seal.
Yeah, that was cool.
If he didn't say that...
was funny.
Yeah, I would not have a favorite character in this episode if it wasn't for that. That's why I chose Kiyoshiro. I'm like, haha, Kiyoshiro exists.
Yep.
But, otherwise I probably would have chosen Sirenmon because, again, I like Sirenmon. I feel like that's a cute little design. But I don't really have any other thoughts. The episode definitely happened, and I don't really think it's necessarily a bad episode. I think it's just worse than what we've seen for Ghost Game and worse than what we were expecting, I guess.
Yeah. It just bummed me out that it kind of reminded me of Adventure Colon in the sense that, I just didn't really care about what was going on during most of the episode.
And they were clearly aware of it because it was the Adventure Colon themed episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. It had the Adventure Colon theme. If they could have just chosen all the music from Colon and it would have been just yep, there's the show.
So here's hoping that it was an intentionally bad dig at Colon and we get back to the good stuff next week.
I don't think that that's self-aware, but I kind of like that.
I wish that it were,
yeah,
but...
I know I'm, wishing on a star here, but I believe.
And then Takato showed up to get a vaccine.
Alright, so now that we've discussed, let's start pondering about the series. First up, we'll look at the comments from last week's episode. So first up, we have Fabrico, who says, finally someone talks about how inconsistent Tamers is despite the fandom treating it as it's a holy grail of perfection. Anyway, the way the talismans in this episode worked is they stopped the transactions from happening. Think like a mass scale DDoS, but only for transactions, therefore no money flow, which is what Majira was upset about. And yeah, I like that. I still really did like that whole thing about how last episode the Digimon wasn't really evil or anything. It was just kind of following its own law, and I really liked that.
Yeah.
Last episode was so good. I want more like that.
I wish the law wasn't the law of the free market, but...
Yeah, I mean, capitalism be like.
Yeah.
Next, we have Pastelmon, who says that it was a great episode. Maybe their only complaint is that they got rid of enemies too quickly. In their opinion, they wish that they had more fight, but they're also glad they didn't prioritize the action. Their question is, how do we all feel with Digimon probably falling in love with a human? In the anime, we had some jokes about it. They remember with Dokomon and Eri and Atmon, and in the games, they had a Lilymon in love with a guy, but they wonder how they're going to take it. Personally, they're not entirely sure how comfortable they feel with it, and I guess they'll find out watching more of the anime. And yeah, it kind of feels a little bit off for me. It feels kind of a little bit weird because Digimon are kind of like a pet, and maybe that's just because I came from the virtual pets area where the Digimon, they're really sentient and really smart, but they're still kind of your pet. You just have a dog that talks and blows missiles out of its bum. It's just kind of like a very advanced pet, and I think I feel a kind of a little bit ick about love between humans and their Digimon. I don't know. I wasn't really a fan of it in Atmon either, when we had Eri later on jealous that Dokomon had kind of a girlfriend sort of thing going on, if I'm remembering correctly. That was kind of a little bit, this is icky.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
What do y'all think?
Yeah, I'm not going to get all into it because I've got some strong opinions that this isn't the place for them, but yeah, I agree. Don't do it.
Yeah,
please.
And I don't have a particularly strong opinion, and I'm just going to go with, they could just not.
I think it also depends on, the Digimon. Like, if it was more of a humanoid one, like Piedmon or Famdemon or any of the... Like, even like Algomon, like the ones who are clearly like adult human sort of in design, like I feel like I'm less off-put by that one. But
fair.
when they're just like children Digimon, like
Yeah.
there's just something that this makes me feel a little bit ick. So I guess it depends on the Digimon, but also depends on the human. I guess
Yeah, all
in
the humans are
cyber...
like children too, though. You know?
Yeah,
It doesn't
that's
make it
where
better
I
if
run
the-
into a
if
problem.
the-
Yeah,
if the
yeah,
Digimon
that too.
looks like an adult human, if the child still looks like a child.
Yeah, like, I mean, in Pastelmon's other example, that's from Cyber Sleuth, where there's a Lilymon in love with a guy, and if I'm remembering right, the guy turns out to be gay, and he's into men instead of women, and she's kind of heartbroken by that. Like, that one's
him,
more
I guess,
okay, because I think, from memory, the guy was like an adult, and Lilymon is, you know, not a child, well, in terms of the level.
Right.
So that one's less bad because she's also vaguely humanoid as well. But yeah, it kind of... It's a little bit of a tough one, especially depending on, like, the ages of the humans and the presenting age of the Digimon.
I feel like if nothing else, there's just gotta be a weird, like, scary power dynamic element to it that is just probably best avoided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's move on then.
Yeah.
Yep, next up we have Sleek Emu, who says that the episode was really good and Jellymon is just wonderful. The only problem that they had with Jellymon was that it took them a while to get used to Jellymon's voice, as all they heard for the first time was a sassy Offmon, and I'm pretty sure it's because they've got the same voice, but now I just...
Oh,
ow.
they do. That's excellent.
Next, we have Andrew, who says, praise Jellymon Summer, and then they're wondering if we got a dub, would it be Lord or Master? And I guess Lord would fit. I don't know. I feel like that could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
They then
let's
continued...
let's
Yep.
stay away from Master, especially if we're doing...
The weird sort of dynamic between
Yeah.
Digimon and Kyojiro, yeah. AKA Cow.
Yeah. So they then say that they enjoy the episode, although there was this big chaos with the snakes everywhere, and was wondering if one of the Digimon was commanding them. Their guess was that some Digimon will make some reappearances as antagonists or allies, but they feel that there will be a scene with Clockmon plotting revenge on Hero in a dark room, but has been killed or consumed by another Digimon that was hidden in the shadows to indicate a villain. And I guess that would... I feel like that would be feeling kind of like anticlimactic, that we've got, like, you know, Clockmon as being like this antagonist from like the start of the show, and then to just have them eaten very quickly. But I guess it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if it happens on screen, I'm maybe okay with it, but it definitely can't just be something that we, you know, explain away just with dialogue, I think.
Yeah. Next, we have Sam, who says that if Darkmon returns, then the battle should be between Jellymon and Darkmon in any aspect, who is the best prankster or fighter. And I guess, yeah, I feel like that would be a good dynamic to have them face off and fight. I know, I really like Jellymon. I just hope we get more Jellymon episodes soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next, we have Goss, who says that easily the best episode of the series. They liked how Kiyoshiro is both a coward and a courageous person, like Zenitsu from Demon Slayer. And then they wonder if Jellymon pulled a Mega Man blaster for an attack. She feels like the other side of the spectrum, genius and outspoken versus genius introverted from Kiyoshiro. And yeah, I totally understand that. Like, that's a good dynamic, and I feel like that's why they work. They're both very smart, but one is kind of like outspoken and aggressive, and the other one's kind of like a little bit quieter, but also screams. I like that.
Yeah, Chloe and I, we get it.
Cute. Then lastly, we have TGS, who says 4 out of 5. Very fun introduction for Kiyoshiro and Jellymon. They like the twist that Jellymon was the bad guy, as the one who was messing up the flow of wealth, and the heroes need to stop the good guys from killing Kiyoshiro. They love the mixing of magic and technology with the digital talismans, and they always liked when Digimon went more into the science fantasy versus the harder science fiction side. And yeah, I agree. This week's episode made me kind of realize that last week's episode was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like-
it sure is a shame to go from a unanimous 5 down to, like, you know, 2-2-3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have had another dragon show up to destroy all bitcoins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just destroy Taichi.
Yep. Destroy
both.
all records of Adventure :
He just comes in, breaks the disc, and leaves.
Ugh. please.
Rio shows up to stop homeostasis from allowing the Adventure universe to exist.
Oh, please. Please, please, please. So, what were our thoughts about the series so far, now that we've seen episode 6?
Please no more of this, but first 5 episodes were pretty strong, and I'm hopeful for the ongoing plot if it...
I was going to say, as long as the this is this episode in particular, then yes, no more of this, but yeah.
I am ready to move on from Mon of the Week, I think.
But all of Digimon is Mon of the Week.
I'd like to get some overarching plot at the same time as well, then.
Yeah, that's the thing. I would like some larger plot than just, let's go check out another, Japanese folktale.
I kind of like the idea of Ruri kind of dragging them all along to visit the folktales. Like, I feel like that, I like that idea.
That's
and
fair.
I like how Yokomon seemed kind of a little bit annoyed about the hologram ghost things. Like, Yokomon just kind of helped out someone who lost their wallet and now gets offerings. Like, he's
That's
happy
fair.
about that.
Yeah.
But he's kind of like, why?
I've seen Gakko no Kaidan.
Can you translate for us?
Sorry, Ghost Stories
over
is so the dub title is Ghost Stories, and it's a really terrible but impressively intentionally bad dub. But the original, somewhat underrated show is just what if we went from place to place doing Japanese folktales.
I see.
And so yeah, like I've seen that show, but now with Digimon, I guess. Yeah,
But I like that. I like that concept.
that's fair.
And it does kind of seem to be kind of the whole basis for this series.
That's fair.
Like, I'd like if they went more, like, into folktales rather than just sort of, oh yeah, there's just something happening at the karaoke bar, or there's something happening near the museum, there's something, I don't know, if they actually had, like, more folktales to go by,
Yeah, I
I
guess
feel like
urban
that would
legend
be...
is the word I'm trying to think of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say
yeah,
the
that
folktales could
too.
get kind of hardcore, and I'd be super here for that.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, as long as it's done well, but do whatever, but I really do hope that this is the low point of the series at episode 6. Like, I hope that we don't just keep on going down from here. I hope that the rest of the episodes aren't predictable, but I'm worried that I'm kind of a little bit worried now. Like, every week I say that I'm a little bit worried with...
I would like there to be an episode that Hiro doesn't appear in.
I don't think that will happen because he's one of the... Like, he'll at least appear in some way. Like, Tamer's always had a good shot of... Like, even if a character wasn't the focus point for the episode, like, it wasn't a them-centric episode, they'd still sort of show up doing something. Like, we would have... It'd be a Ruki episode. Keep on almost saying Ruri. And Takado would be just, like, working on his card slash. Or designing the next evolution. Or he'd be doing something. Not like...
Sure.
There'd be, like, a quick shot of him doing something for a few minutes. So I don't think we're going to have a hero-less episode.
Taichi wandering into other people's episodes, I would be completely 100% there for just an episode that Taichi is not in.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Hiro is not in.
Yeah, but I know, I am a little bit worried now, because I have been worried every week with, like, how it seems to follow a formula, and then last week's episode kind of made me look, hey, never mind, we're not going with that formula at all, because episode 5 was different from that and didn't follow that same path that the rest of the series has done. But this episode kind of... It feels very different, but at least it looked
again,
good.
But not as well as we did the first few times, which is
but...
what happens when you keep doing a formula like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it could also be that because we've seen this formula so much in this series already, that it made this episode more predictable, it made it less enjoyable, because we kind of already assume that that's kind of what we do if it's not a big bad or a bad guy, and if it's a perfect level, because... all the other ones who've turned out to be evil have not been perfect. They've been adult, which is Clockmon, or child as Darkmon. This episode had a perfect level, and the other episodes with perfect levels had them be kind of good. Even in episode 5, that Majiramon is a perfect level Digimon. Mm-hmm. And while it wasn't like a misunderstanding, it was still a perfect level Digimon. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of... it follows that.
For what it's worth, I don't have nearly the Digimon background that y'all have, and I was still able to predict like 100% of the story beats. So I don't think it was just a Digimon thing.
It was just a very trope-filled episode.
Yeah.
And you know, like, again, I don't think it's inherently bad. I think you can do stuff with that, but if nothing else, God, I wish characters other than Hiro could have had any ideas.
Yep, going back through it really was all Hiro says, oh, I should do this, and then sometimes he does it, and then sometimes someone else tells him, wait, let someone else do it.
Yeah. It gives me concern, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And hopefully I'm wrong. I would like to be wrong with my concerns there.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be at least partially right, but hopefully it won't become, a massive problem for the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with formulaic episodes. Like, even Tamers had a very slow start, but it was very sort of formulaic. We would have, like, a bit of an introduction to the characters and their relationship, and then we'd have an evolution episode, and would have kind of like the Davis show up one episode, one at a time. It was that season was still very formulaic, and that way how Digimon showed up, how they evolve, and a lot of Digimon is that even Atmon had it. We had the two would meet, then they would have like a sort of like character episode, and then they'd have an evolution, and then it would be the next character's turn. So it's just a Digimon thing. So there's nothing wrong with it following the same formula as the bunch of other episodes, but the episodes actually have to be good in order to make it past like just the, it's formulaic, but it's still good. Like it can do both.
You can follow a recipe and it turns out fine, but you have to, execute it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use off eggs or you can use not off eggs. And there's my help in the cooking analogy there. I don't cook that often. Brady cooks.
What do we mean?
Well, that's good.
Really well. I make orders on Uber Eats. That's what I'm good at. I find the coupons. Anyway, so episode 7 has a title of Birds. So
I forgot
the.
Yeah, the Hitchcock thing we're doing next week is going to be sick.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, the preview has me excited.
Yeah, I'm excited because it looks scary again.
It does, and it makes me think that maybe this was just kind of like, a momentary blip in quality, and it's not going to be indicative of the rest.
We gave it to a writer who was, I guess, working with a gas leak.
Or it's just episode 6 is just like a filler episode, and this it is a fine filler episode. It felt very filler episode, and for a filler episode, it's just filler. And
I didn't dislike my time watching it, but like I didn't enjoy it like I did the other ones.
Yeah.
The time just kind of passed.
Yeah, definitely. It's more or less. It's a fine episode, but because of what it's coming from, the other episodes are just kind of better.
It suffers from the proximity to greats,
Yeah, same, and that's how I feel when I do the podcast with y'all.
Aw, it's mutual, don't worry.
Auditory proximity, obviously not like physical proximity because I'm in Australia, but y'all get me.
I mean, you are literally talking in my ear. That's pretty close.
Yeah, imagine if like you didn't have the microphone, you just heard my voice. Horrifying.
That'd be
that would be a Ghost Game plot of like you're listening to a podcast and all of a sudden my voice starts.
Oh, that's the modern horror story right there. I guess it's more of a Black Mirror, but just you now can no longer ever hang up a call. You just can't.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah, it'd make a good Ghost Game.
That would be a really good Ghost Game episode. Like honestly, Ghost Game could be like Twilight Zone / Black Mirror for kids.
Yeah, it should just be what if Atmon had been the Twilight Zone? And I'm here for the Alfred Hitchcock, so let's keep this up.
Here's hoping.
Yeah. If you're gonna do fillery stuff, just keep doing this. Like that kind of thing's fine. Just rip off from the best.
Exactly.
So we do see a Digimon in the preview. It is unless I'm completely wrong, it appears to be Chromon, which is another perfect level Digimon.
Oop, alright, so let's see what the wacky misunderstanding is next week.
Yeah, I hope that I really hope that this breaks away from that.
I feel like
it was
if you're
just a
gonna
misunderstanding.
Have a, horde of birds attacking the public, there's not an easy way to go, oops, misunderstanding, so...
Well, see, I've been observing humans, and they like feeding birds, so I wanted to give them a lot of birds to feed.
Also, how sassy is the voiceover for the next time on? It's always like, how close are you with your pet bird, really? Like,
oh my god, that was so good. That was so, like, why do you think you're any different? That was...
Oh my god, that was so good.
What is voiceover Kun's damage? Like, jeez. I was sitting here going,
good.
I don't know.
Oh, wasn't that
I wanna go...
Birds? It's been a long time.
I don't know, I haven't
I want to go hug my pets.
Okay, I saw it when I was 7 and it scared the living daylights out of me.
I think I also saw it around that age. Like, Alfred Hitchcock does scary movies. I haven't watched many as an adult, but when I watched Psycho as a kid, it scared me, like, senseless. Like, all of the movies are just terrifying, and I haven't seen any of them as an adult, but I'm just assuming they're still terrifying.
Probably so, yeah.
Made birds scary, made showers scary, like, well done. But, any other predictions?
Jellymon will continue to be the best.
We should do a Telltale Heart episode.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be good. I feel like there's a lot of
It's gonna be
ways
a
that
little
we
too
can
real
go.
for Digimon, though, I think, you know?
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I mean, it would, but, like, I don't think they're gonna do it.
No,
I think
God,
it'd be
no.
too actually scary.
It's not an actual prediction, but we should do a Telltale Heart episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I still felt like the Pumpkinmon, like, carving people's faces, that was still
was a
fairly
lot.
surprisingly
pretty
scary.
hardcore.
Yeah.
And the dragging off of people, like, that was like, if
Yeah.
they went any further, it wouldn't be for kids. Like, they towed the line. They were just, like, walking along the line
Yeah.
of just being
They frogged the line.
actual horror. So, like, well done there. And, I feel like next episode could get scary, but also the
hope it
sass on the preview voice.
I don't know. I felt like it was more supposed to be, like, ominous, but either way, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Alright everyone, so thanks for listening to our thoughts on this episode, and you can join us next week for our discussion of episode 7, Birds. The is implied.
Yeah,
So,
I suspect
the link-
that
yep.
it's just the Japanese doesn't really have a definite article like that.
No, no, bird da. Well, it'd be tori da, but you get my idea. Birds, masculine. But in any case, there's my bilingual joke sort of thing going on for today. At least the subtitle didn't translate it to, I don't know, gate or something. So, podcaster's note, tori and, depending on the kanji, tori and tori for gate and bird are said the same way. They're both tori. They're written different ways, obviously. They're both different kanji, but there's my podcaster's note for today. So the link dump's linked in the description, and so is our Redbubble, so you should check that out. You can contact us and stay updated. You can email us you can email us not at translationmon. That's not how email addresses work. LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com. There we are, got there eventually. Or you can comment on this episode on our website, LostinTranslationmon.com, or on this episode on YouTube. I do so much better when I'm not actually looking at the segment guide script that I have.
Yes,
I do
because
so much
reading
better.
things out loud is much harder than just saying them.
Yeah, you just gotta let muscle
Reading,
memory take over.
Reading out loud is so hard. Like, in school, nobody liked doing it because it made everyone not able to speak.
That's why I extemporaneously do every speech I ever do.
Yeah, just do it from brain. Brain works so much better than reading from script. That's how I do most things. I don't have scripts, so I'm just going to try not to look at this except for reminders. So you can follow us at Translationmon on Twitter, and I promise I can put more than just 5 words together in tweets, I promise. Sometimes they're images. And you can also find us on Lost in Translation on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, the bogan Australian version of YouTube. No, YouTube. There is no YouTube. By the way, for any non-Australians, use is like a worse version of y'all. It's like, well, what are yous doing? Like, it's just
we also
it's
have
just
that, but
awful.
primarily in, Boston.
Yeah, it's more of a
Really?
accent
Oh,
sort
yeah.
of thing here than like an actual
Accepted term.
yeah.
Oh no, it's like the most bogan white trash of anything. I every time like I hear, so what are you getting up to? Like, it just makes my everything just like recoil
big
in
move,
fear.
big
But anyway, yeah. So I'm at Digimon_hero, hero spelled HIRO, the weeb way, which is on TikTok. And I stream on twitch.tv/translationmon. But in my segment guide, I'm now seeing that I've actually written as translatonmon. So that's not what it is. It's translationmon, like the podcast. And you can also chat with us on the Lost in Translationmon Discord server. Perhaps there's a Lost in Translationmon one as well. I don't know. You'll have to check that out. But in any case, we'd also appreciate it. There we are. I'm reading the segment guide again. It'd review us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and any other podcast app. I am reading the script again.
See, you
Any
gotta stop
podcast
reading.
catcher. I gotta stop reading. Do not read. There's my lesson for the week. Any podcast catcher that you use, and if I see the review, I'll read it out on the show, and if not, let me know so I can read it out on the show. You can also donate to my Patreon, and that's linked in the description from as little as $1 a month, and that gets you access to the private areas of the Discord server, but there are higher levels, more rewards, such as unedited and early episodes, and more, so check that out if that's something you're interested in. And of course, thank you to our current supporters on Patreon. And now I have to look at the script because I don't want to forget anyone. So we have Joe, we have Stephen Reeves, who is Wildwood64 on Archive of Our Own. We have Kaidawashi, we have Chisai, who you can follow on Twitter at Chisai236. We also have
check
Neobu.
out the amazing art she drew for Chloe.
Oh,
You
yeah,
always
I
have to check out
think
Chisai's
I-
art.
I think I posted it in Arty Farty. It's in Ava.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's excellent.
You need to join the server to see the amazing work that she did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Always check out Cheese work.
It's
And yeah, so we
always
also
excellent.
it's always excellent. And we also have Neobu, who also says you should follow Chisai on Twitter at Chisai236. We also have Kyle Lismet, who is Electman on Tumble. I'm reading the script again. Hey! Nicholas, Sam, Emery from Cornwall Hunting, a Hunter Hunter Rewatch podcast, Magnus, Lucas, JCMon05, Patrick, Jason, Grey Tanuki, Jay David, and Shelby. You can also make a one-off donation on PayPal, which can be found in the description. It's paypal.me/Airdramon, or you can also donate to me on my Coffee account, ko-fi.com/Airdra. There we are. I need to learn to not read as much because then my words can come out better. So in any case, thanks for watching and listening.
Stop me, because I can't read.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I can't read and sometimes I can read. Which will it be? You be the judge there. I even almost messed up that word. Anyway, so thanks for listening and we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.